give a shout out to Politically Street, man. That's one of the coldest names you can have. Because we out here in these streets, but these politics is trickling down, so it's all intertwined, man. So we got to figure out how to work it the way we work. So shout out to Politically Street.
All right. Welcome to another edition of Politically Street. I'm your community ambassador, Robin J. Anderson. First, I'm going to give my disclaimer. This podcast is not, we're not here to endorse any candidates. We are only for here for information purposes only, and we are giving people their flowers who are doing astounding things in our community. So with that being said, I have a good friend, mentor, principal, whatever you want to call it, Mr. Gaylord Gill.
Yeah, good morning.
With Gill Illustrations. Tell me the name of your business again.
Well, formerly Gill Illustrations, now it's Mag Apparel.
Mag Apparel, gotcha, right. So let me give y'all a little history about Mr. I call him Mr. G, y'all, Mr. G and I. So me and my business partner, Chris Smith, shout out Chris Smith, we started a company called Square Biz. And we had another mentor who mentioned that, hey, it's a guy in Houston you guys need to meet. So we was like, so he gave us the address and we went, knocked on the door, and we've been there ever since, man. So that's how I met Mr. G. It's around maybe 2008, 9, somewhere in there. 2008, man. So, man, Mr. G has been a mentor, man. He give me a kick in the butt when I need one. But I appreciate him though, you know what I mean? Because like when I sit down with my dad is like about 68 years old, and he says, you know what? In his opinion, the baby boomers didn't really get a chance to mentor like how they got mentored coming up and whatnot, you know. So tell us, Mr. G, where'd you grow up?
I grew up here in Third Ward, Texas.
Third Ward, okay. We're gonna shout Acres on real quick. But anyway, not Third Ward.
I'm a native Houstonian.
Okay.
I went to Dotson Elementary, James D. Ryan Middle, started making money, dropped out of Jack Yates High in 1972.
Okay.
Enrolled in Phyllis Wheatley in 1972.
Okay.
Dropped out.
Okay.
I started making money. And when I started making money, I thought that was why we went to school. We go to school so that we can make money, right?
Check.
I started making money, and I was cool, I was having fun. I was growing into my stupidity.
Okay.
And I was stupid with it. But if only I had had a me back then, that's why I do what I do now.
Gotcha.
So I came up, I joined the Navy in 1973. I stayed in the Navy for 6 years. Matter of fact, that's a unique story also. I'm one of the few who has ever sued the Navy and won.
Oh, wow.
Don't tell nobody.
All right, okay, it's just to me and you and everybody's watching, so.
But yeah, I'm a native Houstonian, man, and I believe in black love. You know?
So did you grow up in a single-parent household, or?
Yes, yes. At age 5, I watched my father walk away, as a matter of fact, on Good Friday, and never come back.
Wow.
But I connected with him after I got out of the Navy, and he and I started to develop a relationship. I gave my father his last shave here on earth.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Okay.
How did it make you feel, man? Because when you have I don't want to say difficult, but when you don't have that connection growing up, and then you try to reestablish that, and then you get older, and then you have to give him his last shave, man. How did that make you feel?
Well, really, it made God mean more to me, because God put me in a position to not only see my father pass, but to also see my mother pass.
Gotcha.
So it's rather unique. It's hard to describe, and not a lot of people have experiences like that.
That's true.
But my mother saw me come into the world, and I saw her leave.
Yeah, that's supposed to be the natural order. You know what I mean? And it's I think when people have a difficult time with it, seeing the person they know their whole life leave, but that's just how it's supposed to go. I saw my mom take her last breath, and that's. Yeah, but anyway.
No, I mean, those things are relevant, and young people need to know that, because Well, I go to a lot of funerals, right? I'm of age where there's a lot of us leaving.
Transition, right.
And I see some of the people that do nothing during the lives, like you said, you're here to give flowers to those while they're here. There's a lot of people that don't do that, okay? You don't see them except when you call them to give them something.
Check.
But they don't, when they come and they see you laying there, all those tears and stuff, that's on the other side. It's irrelevant now.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So if you cry, cry for yourself. Don't cry for me. Because I'll be the one who's had the better part of the deal. I'll be done.
Gotcha. Okay. So, take me, because I brought you here because of, like I say, you're one of the ones that basically cultivated that entrepreneur spirit in me and my business partner. So, when did you transition to working for yourself?
Well, I worked with my father for 10 years at Hurricane Tire Repair in 3rd Ward on Holman and Nagel, right behind Ryan Middle School.
Okay.
And I would work during the day for the city of Houston. And then I would get off and I'd come and help him.
Okay.
And my nephews, they started a business, a Greek printing shop called Illustrations.
Okay.
And he asked me, he said, man, we need about $5,000, man, to buy another press, man. And, really we can make a lot of money, right? Well, you know me, I'm about money, okay? So I retired from the city, I drew down my pension, right? And I invested it into Illustrations. And I invested $5,000, and that was back in 1995.
That's a lot of money back then.
Here we are. But let me tell you, let me tell you how pliable it was. I'm living right now in 2021 off of that $5,000 investment.
Wow.
So that's how far it stretched.
Right. Wow.
Just 5,000.
Wow. So you said Greek for people, because this is going to be broadcasted over the whole, so when you say Greek, can you explain what Greek is?
Well, they have Greek fraternities and sororities.
Gotcha.
I don't need to say no names or anything, do I?
No, well,
Alpha Phi Alpha.
Right.
Omega Psi Phi. Phi Beta Sigma Kappa Alpha Psi. I go into the girls, AKA Sigma Gamma Rho. Zeta Phi Beta. You can't use the other one.
Gotcha. Okay, I got the red one.
Yeah, you can't use them.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, they're doing a lot of licensing now where they just really lock down on it. So yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, they put a lot of black folks out of business.
Wow. Interesting. With my business partner and I, we were trying to find apparel and things like that. We found a spot on the south side, and the person didn't look like us. It was a Oriental person. Well, I guess bought the licenses, and I was like, wait a minute, so, and don't get me wrong, I get trademark, I get it all, trust me, I do, but the way it's going now it's been a challenge for, black-owned businesses to survive because of everything that's going on, from gentrification to integration, all that kind of stuff. To me, in my opinion, played a major part in a lot of businesses leaving and falling, because, it's just how the money is being, taken out or been siphoned, I'll say it like that, what I mean? So take me back to, because I like to visualize how it was. I wasn't there. So when you were working with your dad, was it a lot more black-owned businesses in 3rd Ward, or?
Not very many, but 3rd Ward is a black neighborhood.
Check.
Most of the time, what we would do is we would make our money in 3rd Ward and then spend it elsewhere.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Now, my father had a unique business. It was a tire shop. There was not very many tire shops in 3rd Ward. Wasn't no discount tire, NT, whatever.
NTV,
yeah, wasn't none of that. Okay. So he provided a service that the local people, could just roll a tire down the street, and he was there to fix it for them, or replace it, or do whatever.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha.
That was his business. He always told me, he said, if you're going to invest in something, there's 3 things that you can invest in that is recession-proof. That's food, liquor, and auto. Now,
Food, liquor, auto.
and
Gotcha.
auto, that's what he would say too.
Right.
But I submit to you today that those things are irrelevant. They were relevant for the time.
Mm-hmm.
But now, we have to be conscious of everything that we do,
Mm-hmm. I agree.
okay?
Mhm.
Any business can be successful,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to work at it.
I agree.
And the one thing that young people don't want to do today is sweat.
Mm. Wow, I don't mind sweating, man. You know, but yeah.
Mhm.
And then you and I were talking off camera about the reason why I started this podcast was because I noticed that there was a disconnect between the generation of the baby boomers, Generation X, my generation, millennials, and then the Generation Y. And I think that's what's been the major hiccup in our community is not having the communication, because if I don't know what you know, then that means that the same kind of like a trick can be played on me because I don't know. But if you give me the knowledge, hey, you know what, the food, the tires, and auto, and that all it still applies, but now we can amend it in a sense.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Sure.
So tell me, so you work illustrations, and what happened next?
We were typically black.
Okay.
When I invested in illustrations, the gross income for the year of the business was $42,000. When the IRS came in and took the key, it was $760,000 a year.
Wow.
It's all about what you do with your money
Mm-hmm.
when you get it.
Mm-hmm.
Even if we had only used 700,000, we still could have put 60,000 in the bank.
Right.
But we make money, and then we want to go and we want to buy Mercedes-Benz, and
Right.
we want to go and buy, backyard lawn. This is Texas, man. I don't do the outside. I don't need no patio out the back. I'm not knocking it.
Right.
That's your thing, do it.
Right.
But we spent the money foolishly,
Mhm.
in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mhm.
and that was the downfall of the business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so after that, then I had to adapt. So I started my business
Mm-hmm.
where because I did sales. Sales is what I did.
Mm-hmm.
I could go back to my original sales job, but they do have a statute of limitation.
Say it again?
On crime.
Okay, got it.
I don't want to see.
You want to incriminate yourself,
Yeah,
right?
but when I was coming up, we had a saying in the hood. All right, make your money any way you can.
Mm-hmm.
Take your money, flip it,
Mm-hmm.
clean it up,
Mm-hmm.
make it multiply.
Gotcha.
So no matter how you make it,
Mm-hmm.
as long as you take it,
Mm-hmm.
when you get enough, clean it up,
Clean it up, right?
clean your life up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have a lot of the Kennedys,
Mm-hmm.
all right?
Mm-hmm.
They wasn't always pristine family,
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah, I heard about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And anybody can Google it.
Right.
They're getting paid right now today,
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily behind the money that was invested,
Mhm.
but behind the brain power that they use to secure it.
Right.
We need
right.
to use our brains.
Right, I agree. There's so much I want to dive into, man, because you're such a layered person. Because we sit and we talk, you know what I mean? So,
Be careful now.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm trying to make sure and keep it, rated, Mr. G, rated, So tell me the scene of when the business was flourishing. Like how was the scene like? Was it a lot more businesses like yours, or is it just a different? Like how was that scene? I know how we made our money was basically, you know, because people weren't really coming to brick and mortars.
Mhm.
You know, they were doing more like they were coming to the shows and this and that. So tell me the scene of when Get Illustrations was basically on top of the game.
Well, we did custom printing.
Okay.
You know, just like now, if I hear what is it, custom ink one more time, I'm gonna turn flips.
Oh, wow.
So that's what everybody approaches me with. Well, I can get it on custom ink for this or for that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not competing with people with money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because money, to me, nowadays, don't mean a thing.
Mm.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
I've evolved, I've learned that money is not what sustains me.
Mm.
All right?
Wow, it's powerful.
It's the people around me
Mm-hmm.
that sustain me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we had 2 automatics. We were the largest black-owned screen printing company here in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
We would do the Spirit Show, which is a Greek show,
Mhm.
where all of the vendors or people with brick and mortar stores,
Mhm.
mom and pop stores, they
Mhm.
would come and they would buy our t-shirt designs,
Mm-hmm.
and then go back all across the nation and India
Mm-hmm.
and sell.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
So we were doing really well, but we got complacent
Mm.
in the fact that we thought that the business could not die.
Mm. Wow. Wow.
And then that red group
Mm-hmm.
came along.
Mm-hmm.
I love my sisters.
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
Yeah, me too, man. I know, like I said, I get it. And maybe they felt like they had, you know what, that's on them. Let them, you know, how they do what they do is business, you know what I mean? And so, okay, gotcha, man. So
I mean, I hope I answered your question, but we were doing really well.
Yeah.
And things just did, you know, everybody got complacent, started just blowing money, buying things, you know, $30,000 printers, you know, just we started to just splurge and do things that we should have done gradually,
Mhm.
you know.
Mhm.
Slow nickel beat a fast
Fast
dime
dime.
anyway.
That's true.
Any day.
Mhm.
So
That's
we
true.
were just slinging money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else to say.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So
I can't blame anybody else
Right.
for our downfall.
Right. But the good thing is that you're still here and you're still doing the printing. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, you want to print these shirts up for me, you know, and look out for the merchandise pretty soon here.
That's right.
You know, like I said, what I appreciate that was you reached back and you pulled 2 young men in and showed how we can work together, and that's far and few between these days. You know what I mean? And so I really appreciate you doing that. You know, so what advice would you give a person, not just even want to get into t-shirt printing, but what would you give advice as far as just starting a business? What would you tell them?
First of all, know where you want to go.
Mm.
If you're gonna rob a bank backwards.
Gotcha.
Now, don't y'all, I'm not telling nobody to go out and rob no banks.
Don't rob bank, y'all.
Okay? I'm not telling anybody to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're gonna do something, always have your exit
Okay.
strategy
Mm-hmm.
in place.
Mm-hmm.
And then start drawing the line backward to the start. Because that's what I did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I said I wanted to have a, you know, screen printing shop.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing I did was I said, okay, how do I get my screen printing shop?
Mm-hmm.
And then I started drawing a line backwards. I started to accumulate equipment.
Mhm.
I started to, you know, look at all the legal aspects of the business,
Mhm.
what I needed to do, you know. And then once I got to the point to where now this is how much money it's going to take for me to start.
Mm-hmm.
Once I started, and I started running back toward the end,
Gotcha.
and here I am.
Gotcha. Off of $5,000, man. That's wild.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow. So what do you see Mad Greek in the future between, I guess, now and the next 10 years?
Well, like I say, you have to have an exit strategy,
Mhm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm at that point
Gotcha.
to where I don't have to work,
Mm-hmm.
okay?
Mm-hmm.
I try to bring people along and teach them.
Mhm.
You know, my grandson should something happen to me, he could walk in with the keys and he could operate the business right now today. But he has a different agenda right now. He has a new son, and he have 2 boys really, and he has to take care of them, and he has a companion, and she wants things a certain way, so he has to try and conform and keep his household happy.
Gotcha.
And the screen printing business is not consistent.
That's true. I agree.
Okay.
And trust me, I know.
but you have to learn to adjust your life to your circumstances. Okay. And like I told him, I was, I paid him as much as I could, but it just wasn't enough. Okay. So I told him, you're gonna have to do something. You're gonna have to go and get your own job, and do your own thing. So he did. I love my grandson, man. I raised him, from the womb to the tomb. That's us.
Gotcha. Okay, cool, man. So are you online? That's where you have a website or anything people can go to and find you?
Yes, maggreek.com. MAGGREEK.com.
Gotcha. Okay, and as far as Facebook, can you tell me your Facebook name so they can find you on Facebook or even a phone number?
Oh, sure. 713-647-2133. Or 832-767-0426. Should I say that again?
You can.
713-647-2133. That's directed to me. That's my cell. 832-767-0426.
Gotcha. All right. And then are you on Facebook?
Yes, Gay Gill.
Spell that for him.
GAYEGILL.
All right. Also, like I said, y'all, he's the one that printed these shirts for me. He's been investing in me for a while, man. I never forget this phone call, man. I was running for city council, and he said, "Hey, I want to do you a favor." I said, "What you mean, Mr. G?" He said, "I want to print some shirts for you, man." I was like, "Man, that's right on time. I need some." And so from day one, you've been standing on your word, and I appreciate that, man. So that's why I say, I had to have you come on, interview so people can see the human side of who Mr. Gaylord Gill is, Mr. G. And so I want to give you applause while you're here, and then say even invite me out to his church, man. I say that the one of the most fears of people is public speaking. But I didn't have any kind of anxiety at your church, man. So I spoke from my heart, man, and I really enjoy coming out there, man. Out there to Fifth Ward, So, like I say, this is Mr. Gaylord Gill. You have any parting words to the people out there, or you just want to?
Yeah, sure. I want to give a shout out to St. Mark Missionary Baptist Church.
Okay.
5306 Lyons Avenue. Will be coming up on 127 years as a body, and I want everybody to know it doesn't matter whether you're Buddhist, Muslim, Jewish, or whatever. God is. God is. If I had to part with one thing, it would be that. It doesn't matter. Religion doesn't matter. Because if we turn the lights off in here and we slit each one of us and we bled in the middle of the floor, when you turn the light back on, you would be able to pick out your blood. Know him or myself.
Wow, that's powerful. So hey, y'all, make sure to go to the YouTube channel, click on and look up for Politically Street. I got some episodes coming up, man. I appreciate all the support, y'all. Peace.